Hello there, Ungainly Titan here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. You're looking at Fractured Space. Yeah, I tried out Fractured Space over the weekend. I didn't get a lot of play in. I got maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. Hard to know. I wasn't exactly keeping track of time. Looks like the battles last around 15 minutes. There is a tutorial that kind of takes you through the basics, but could do with a better tutorial, to be honest with you, or I could do with more tutorials, a series of stage tutorials that will take you through the increasing complexities of what you're doing, because an awful lot of the stuff you're making decisions without any real basis for or knowledge for doing so, and some of the defensive or utility stuff like the deflection buoy and reveal sector, when is that tactically optimal to do it? What circumstances? That sort of stuff. So there's quite a lot of stuff that you're not told, and you got to figure out the hard way. I suppose in some ways that's what YouTube videos are for. But game companies have decided to get lazy on these things. They have a whopping great big manual, which took me a couple of minutes to download. I haven't actually read it yet, but I must have a read through that, of course. So that might enlighten me a lot more, and then I'd know what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to give my first kind of undiluted impression, and it's, well, it's certainly fun, and yeah, I can definitely see myself playing a lot more of this. I am completely playing against the environment. This is a play versus environment, and there are no real people besides myself. Both the allied and enemy teams are all AI, so it's solo play training type stuff. But it is the conquest mode, which I think is the standard mode of the game. It certainly seems to be the one that I've seen on videos by the Mighty Jingles, who is basically the person I've seen playing Fractured Space mostly. So you have your home base, the enemy base, Alpha, Beta and Gamma. And Alpha and Beta have mining stations and a base that you control, or at least at the start of the game. And if you control the enemy base in Alpha or Beta, you can get access to the enemy base area. Or if you can take control of Gamma when it's online. But Gamma only goes online every now and again. And it's only online for a short period of time. So you have to jump in, hammer the enemy ships to take control while it's still online, and then use it to attack the enemy base. So it doesn't always work. In fact, well, this game we finish up attacking Alpha, the enemy base via Alpha. But once you have, if you take the enemy station on Alpha or Beta, then the route through Gamma is also open. If that makes any sense. In terms of using the ships, well, you know, the movement is straightforward. No, it's up, you know, it's three-dimensional movement, and I don't seem to be able to go down without changing attitude. I'm not sure if there's a key combination that would just take me down, as in lower or raise my ship relative to the other ships, without changing the attitude of the ship. But it kind of goes nose down or tail up, or nose up, tail following sort of thing. If you're not pressing the key, as far as I can tell, your ship stops moving. There's no momentum, or little or no momentum. And it looks like I rammed into an asteroid there without doing any real damage to myself. So yeah, the environment doesn't seem to damage you, but if you run, I have rammed, not deliberately, but I have rammed into enemy ships, and the front of my ship just lit up red, like as if the armor had been completely removed, the same as it was there. Going back to your base will allow you regeneration, and if there's an upgrade available, you get the upgrade. But I think your ship might regenerate anyway if it's in friendly space and out of combat. But don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. So the other thing is that apparently the game emphasizes the importance of taking mining stations. Don't know what the benefit of taking mining stations are, but it probably, I don't know, adds resources or increases the rate at which you achieve upgrades or something. But apparently it's a thing. So You do that by taking out and controlling the mining stations on Alpha or Beta, or blowing up the little mining transports, which kind of like have 2 hit points, 3 hit points or something. That's quite easy to do if you can hit them. But generally, if you're there, you're often surrounded by alien capital ships or enemy capital ships, in which case your priorities are quite frequently the enemy capital ships. You get experience and credits, money, some kind of stuff on the rewards. You also get these dropship loot box type rewards. I've picked up a crew that way. I thought my crew were assigned to my ship, but I'm not sure if they are. I may have to go back and study that a little bit further, because there's nobody chatting on the chat window who I would identify as my crew members. Don't know anything about the play versus environment or play versus player versus player. I haven't played any of them. I'm not sure whether there's comms or what the story is on that kind of aspect of the game. I think I'll be sticking to the AI solo stuff for quite some time, at least to have a decent handle on the game and probably some comprehension of what the various ship types do. So this probably will not be something I'll be doing regular videos of straight away, which is a bit of a pity. The other, I suppose, thing that I was doing is these videos are recorded. I've tried a different recording technique. I've been using the Windows Game Bar. It's kind of the equivalent of the game DVR stuff that you get in the Xbox, but you can record games, I think, probably 2 updates back, certainly since earlier in the summer or late spring, whichever update Windows 10 came around that time. Prior to that, if I was recording a game, or if I was playing a game, the Windows Game Bar stuff would come up, but all it ever offered to do was to screenshots. But I've been noticing recently, as in the last couple of months, that, or certainly the last couple of weeks, I couldn't say exactly how far back, memory's not that great, but I've been noticing that it has been giving me the opportunity or the offer to record, but I've been sort of using the GeForce Shadowplay stuff. But I found the GeForce Shadowplay stuff to be extremely fiddly. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll only do with particular games, or if you switch privacy mode off and essentially record from the desktop. Which is quite fiddly, because then you think you're recording a game and it turns out you're not, and you've played 2 hours of a game and bloody thing hasn't recorded any of it because it just refuses to, point blank. It's very annoying. So I might use the Windows 10 stuff more, because it looks like it's a lot more straightforward. Now the only problem it has in gameplay terms is that it's got a little toolbar that just persists on top of your game window, and it sits on top of your UI, so it takes up space where your UI sometimes has stuff. So for instance, I tried XCOM over the weekend. I had a lot of trouble with XCOM. I played XCOM, it's XCOM Enemy Unknown, the reboot of the old XCOM UFO Enemy Unknown that came out in the 80s, which I have found out is on Steam. It was like £2 in the last Steam sale, $1.89 or something. I might actually buy it for nostalgia purposes and just maybe play that one that's recorded. That was tough, it was very grindy. But it was an 80s game. All 80s games are very grindy by modern standards. Masses and masses of gameplay in it. I never actually finished it. I mean, I worked out how to finish it. I found out where the aliens were. I worked out roughly what I would need to do in terms of production to get the forces necessary to go and attack the alien base and win. But I couldn't be bothered actually doing it. But yeah, I was trying to play XCOM over the weekend and it crashing. Well, it wasn't even crashing. It would launch. Steam would say it was launched. Windows Task Manager said it was not running, but Steam was convinced it was running. And then you have to reboot the machine and try again. So eventually I did a verify of my Steam installation files, and it re-verified the files, and that seems to sort out the problem. But when I played it, I found the UI is a bit clunky actually on the PC. It's a much nicer game actually on the Xbox. The UI seems to work a lot better on the Xbox than the UI in the PC, but it crashed on me then about, I'd say about an hour into it. It went to mission control and it went for, I'd say it was intended to scan for alien activity, and it just zoomed in on planet Earth and stopped. I had to shut it down externally. But the Windows 10 recording thing is pretty awkward with the XCOM UI, because you keep having to move the little thing around, because there's always something blocking something. But I noticed some of the dialog boxes were doing the same thing. They were blocking menu options. So I'm going to play around with XCOM for a bit and see if I can check it out for stability and other stuff. Maybe play through it once just to get the hang of it again, and then might start recording a playthrough. Mightn't do everything in the playthrough. Might just do status synopsis on the overall, should we say, battle board base side of it. But the tactical combats are very interesting. I've always found it's a great system of tactical combat, which is why I find it interesting that other people are now picking it up, like the Fort Triumph people, who are picking up the tactical combat system used in XCOM. Fort Triumph being by Cookie Bite Entertainment, who are obviously the company that's doing that particular game. But yes, I look forward to playing more of that actually, and getting around to getting onto XCOM 2 at some stage as well. But I'd like to revisit XCOM Enemy Unknown first, because I hadn't played it near as much as I would have liked to have played it. It was one of the last games that I was playing before my mother started getting upset, because of her inability to distinguish reality from fiction. But she was starting to get upset at on-screen violence, and even XCOM, she was kind of, it was a bit visceral, and she was kind of recognising that it was violent. Whereas there's the ramming incident, bounced off the side of that ship as he got displaced by a nuke, I think. But yeah, as I was saying about XCOM, she was starting to recognise violence, but she never did click that World of Tanks was violent. It was just machinery doing mysterious stuff on fields, and she was usually far more interested in the fields and the crops growing on them and stuff like that, and pointing out that places like Prokhorovka and what's the other one, Malinovka, looked exceptionally barren. And of course on the Xbox 360 they did. The grass was extremely bare looking, and there was lots of bare earth and rocks and stuff like that. Now there's far too many rocks on tillage ground in World of Tanks than you would realistically expect, even in Prokhorovka or places like that, because this ground is tilled ground, and farmers don't like rocks striking ploughs. They tend to remove them, and they tend to have use for rocks. They break them up and use them in buildings and stuff. So especially in the old days. So the combination of rocks and ploughing, unless Russia is just, someone's landed and bother moving the rocks, they just ploughed around them. Because, it wasn't a priority. But I doubt it, because if you're going to be ploughing, you might as well, make it as compact as you can. So that's been my adventures with XCOM. I haven't had a decent run at it yet because of all the technical difficulties that I've been having. So meanwhile, back here on Fractured Space, we have failed to get through Gamma twice, and we were in danger of losing Alpha, and we're in a bit of trouble actually in Beta at the moment. We're just we're down to one mine and we're competing for the middle one, but it looks like the team on Alpha have managed to take out the enemy Alpha station, so that means we now have access to the base. So I was not directly engaged there, so I just dropped everything and decided to head for the enemy base because but I went via Gamma. And yes, it looks like my ship is regenerating. And we have the jump drive goes off. And we arrive on the other side, and I'm practically back to full health. So here the key thing is to destroy the station. The enemy ships, I think, are secondary. So it's these little generator thingies that you want to destroy. Destroy enough of these, the station goes kaboom, we win. We all go home, celebrate victory, have a beer, or whatever. So I am being undisturbed. No enemy capital ships have come near me. I'm taking fire, I presume, from the station. From defensive turrets. Because the side of my ship is actually taking a fair bit of damage. But I'm destroying these thingies, and we've done enough. It looks like we've managed to take the station and we've won. Yay for us. Cue dramatic scenes of explosions and cool ships jumping off into the distance and not looking back, which then leads me to all sorts of mysterious awards. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not just taking up my time full-time playing World of Tanks, even though that contract did take up a lot of time. However, we'll get back to that tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you've not already done so, please give the channel a thumbs up. I'll catch you all soon, and bye for now.